Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is July 22nd, 2024, and in this video I'm going to show you how to fill out the application for temporary protected status I-821. Before beginning this video, I'm going to mention, as I mentioned in every video on this channel, I am not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in this video, in this particular case, is going to be from USCIS.gov, official government website for US citizenship and immigration services. Alright, before beginning, let's briefly, let me give you a quick overview of what temporary protected status is. So, Department of Homeland Security, they sometimes designate the countries that are experiencing certain hardships. Like, for example, there is an armed conflict or something along those lines happening in the country, and it prevents someone who is already in the United States of America returning safely back to that country. Whether they are a national of their country or if they don't have any nationality and their last stay was in that country, they can apply for the temporary protected status, which allows them to remain in the United States of America for a certain period of time, depending how long that TPS, temporary protected status, is designated for the country. It allows them to apply for Employment Authorization Document, meaning that they can work legally in the United States while they're here, and it does not prevent them from applying for things like travel document, non-immigrant status, or starting some kind of immigration proceedings. If you want to learn more specifically about the TPS and what countries currently are eligible for TPS, because they always change, just go to the search box and type either TPS or temporary protected status, and it will give you the main page. I will put that link in the description below, so you can just click from the link in the description of this video. Scroll down, you can read all about the TPS, what it is in a little bit more detail. In this video will be really brief, but you want to click on countries currently designated for TPS. This information constantly updates. The countries are removed, the countries are added. Right now is July 2024, but you might be watching this video a year from now. So make sure that your country is on the list. That is #1 prerequisite to check before starting your I-821 application form. So you check the countries, your country is definitely on the list, you are ready to start I-821. It's the same thing you can do. You can use the search bar and just type in I-821, or you can type in application for temporary protected status, or you can go to the forms here. There's a lot of ways you can find this application. Just make sure it is from the official government website USCIS.gov. So I'm gonna go to the search bar because that's the easiest one, application for temporary protected status. I'm gonna put that link in the description below. So the very first thing that you see on this page is that this application is available for online filing. And I highly recommend you to file this application online, because it is a lot faster, a lot easier, prevents a lot more mistakes. You will never be confused about the fees, how much you need to pay, which address you need to file. So if you can, do it online. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you the paper application, the PDF, which is going to be the same exact questions that you will see in online application, so you can follow along. Or if you still have to, or for whatever reason you want to file the application using mail, sending it as an application package by mail, then just, this is what I'm going to be using, the PDF application, which is available here in the forms and documents, I-821, and then there's also instruction. Now, one thing that I want you to verify, is very important, is the edition date. As of right now, the edition date is April 1st, 2024, and this is an updated video. I've done the I-821 before, back in, I think, March 2023, and as you can see, just recently, few months ago, a brand new version of this application came out. So make sure that you are following the updated, you're filling out the updated application. Again, if you're doing it online, it's not going to be an issue. But if you're doing a paper application, make sure you have the most updated version. Okay, so I'm gonna open the application. I highly recommend reading through the instructions. I will put both of these links in the description below. But if you have time, it's only 15 pages. Read through these instructions. They will dramatically help you filling out the application as you go. You don't have to, but it will be really helpful. Now, the application itself, if you don't have an attorney, if you're doing it by yourself, a lot of people stress out about applications like this. You definitely can do it yourself because you're entering your own information here. So just make sure you read every question carefully, and we're gonna do it in this video. We're gonna go step by step, and you should be good to go. So let's start. There are 13 pages on this application, I-821. We're gonna go through each page, and I'll describe each part and your selections, what you will be selecting. Again, your online application might look a little bit differently, but it's going to be exactly the same questions, pretty much in exactly the same order. So if you're following this video, you will do just fine. Okay, so as a paper application, we are starting here. We're not filling out anything up here. This is only for the immigration officer purposes. We're starting on the part 1, which is the type of application. Select the box from items number A1, 1A, 1B, or 2. If applicable, select the box from item number 3A. So we have selections. This is my initial first-time application for temporary protected status. I do not currently have TPS, so this is your brand new application. You don't have a TPS, existing TPS, you're not renewing it. Brand new application, you're selecting 1A. If this is your re-registration application for TPS, and in some situations you will see the Department of Homeland Security, they designate a certain amount of time that a certain country, nationals of certain country, can apply for TPS. They apply for TPS, they get their TPS, and then whatever issue was going on in that country is not resolved. So Department of Homeland Security, they say, you know what, we're gonna extend that amount of time for the TPS. So now you are re-registering that TPS, you are extending it. And if that's the case, you're selecting 1B. Now there's an option 2 here as well. If you selected item number 1B, which is going to be this one, if you do, all right, please indicate who granted you TPS. So it can be USCIS, which is US Citizenship and Immigration Services, or the Immigration Judge, Board of Immigration Appeals. So if it is the judicial branch, then you are selecting Immigration Judge. If it is the executive branch, you are selecting USCIS. Now, for the purpose of this video, we will keep it as initial application. Alright, next question. Are you also filing a request for employment authorization? Like I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, having a valid TPS status allows you to apply for employment authorization document, which is definitely great. So you can file as part of this application your application for employment authorization document. And if this is the case, if this is your initial application, most likely you're going to be doing that. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to select yes, I am requesting an employment authorization document, and I am filing form I-765 application for employment authorization together with my form I-821. All right, or 3B, no, I am not currently requesting an EAD. So for example, in case if you are requesting a re-registration of your TPS and you do have existing employment authorization document, or for whatever reason you don't want to apply for employment authorization document because you're not planning to work, whatever, everybody has a different situation. In that case, you will be selecting no, I'm not currently requesting. And then there is number 4, name of designated TPS country under which you are applying. That is another very, very important piece of information that we need to enter here. And here is going to be one of the countries that are designated, and you can find it from this page as well. If you scroll down to, let's see, edition date, where to file, when to file, file checklist. Nope, special instructions. No, I guess they didn't put it on this page, interestingly, but that's fine. We're gonna open a new one, and I'm gonna go to USCIS.gov, temporary protected status. And there you go. Countries currently designated for TPS. It's going to be one of these countries where you're from. You will be entering here on the application in the field 4. All right, moving further, part 2, information about you. This is where things get very simple. Family name, your last name, your first name, middle name. If you don't have something, especially if you're filling out paper application, it is very important not to leave any blank spaces. So let's say if you don't have middle name, just type in NA, not applicable. Or in online application, it doesn't matter. You can leave blank spaces in online application. That is completely fine. But if you're filing it by mail, then make sure to not leave any blank spaces. And if something is not applicable, just type in N/A. So last name Doe, first name John. You get the point. I'm not going to be filling it out at all to save time, but you get the point. It's very straightforward. Information about you continued. Other names used, same thing. If you had any other names, if you changed your name, if you used any other names, you're filling it out here. If not, you don't leave any blank spaces. You go not applicable in, oops, not applicable, not applicable, not applicable throughout the whole thing. I'm not going to be doing it throughout the whole thing, but you get the point. Don't leave any blank spaces because your application will be returned. And they will tell you, don't leave any blank spaces. I know it's silly to go through all of them, but on paper application, it's very important. All right, moving further to US mailing address. Now, obviously, because you're applying for TPS, you are in United States of America. So your mailing address is where you are getting your mail. Your physical address is where you actually reside. Most of the times, it's going to be the same address. But some people, you know, where they live, maybe it's a temporary place where they live and they, you know, it's not a very secure address to receive the mail. They might be moving soon. You know, as immigrants, we go through this kind of situations a lot of times. So if you have, let's say, relatives that it's their permanent address and they live there for a while and they will live there, they don't have no plans to move, and that's where you want to receive your mail. Your mailing address is going to be your mailing address where you receive the mail, and your physical address is where you actually reside. All right. And then there is a question, number 5 here. Is your current mailing address the same as your physical address? Yes. Still fill it out. Don't leave it blank. No. Still enter the correct physical address that is different from the mailing address. All right, moving further, we are moving to other information. Number 7 is alien registration number. If you started some kind of immigration proceedings along the way, you have alien registration number. If you don't, that's fine. You can either type in N/A, not applicable, or here you can actually type in none. That's fine here. Don't type in none into the middle name, because I actually seen the case where a person's name, they put a middle name none. All right, because, you know, immigrants, we have unique names, so they can easily confuse that as an actual middle name. So save N/A for stuff like middle names where they can confuse, and for stuff like numbers, none is completely fine. Same thing with USCIS online account number. If you're doing it online, you're not going to have these questions, but if you did an application online before, you might have an online account number. If you do have it, enter it here. If you don't have it, that's fine. Just leave it, just say none, that's fine. Same thing with US Social Security number. If you have it, type it in. If you don't have it, none. And then the date of birth, your date of birth, make sure to enter in the same format, because again, For some of us from different countries, it's day first and then the month and then the year. Make sure to enter a month first and then the day and then 4 digits for a year. Don't put 2 digits, put 4 digits for a year. Okay, moving further, other dates of birth, if any. Provide all other dates of birth you have ever used. If you need extra space to complete this section, use the space provided in Part 11 additional information. Now, other date of birth, don't ask me why it is here. Why would anybody use other date of birth? But that's one of the things that they recently added. I guess they had an issue with someone having multiple different dates of birth. I don't know, don't ask me. But if this is not the case, same thing, not applicable, not applicable. Gender, male, female, city, town, village of birth, country of birth, countries of residence before entering the US, that's where you resided, in the countries that you resided in. And you can see they have spaces for 4. If you have more, then you can add them in the Part 11 additional information. I'm going to show you how to fill that additional information out. Countries or country of citizenship or nationality. Now, reside is where you resided. Citizenship, nationality obviously is the country where you hold currently citizenship or nationality. List all countries that apply. Again, there's space for 4. If you need any additional space, I'll show you how to fill it out. Your marital status, current marital status. Select only one, not multiple. So either single, never married, divorced or separated, or married or widowed, or marriage annulled, or if there's any kind of situation, you can put into other. All right, moving further. Part 2, still pretty straightforward, but gets a little bit tricky here. Number 18, date of current marriage. Straightforward. You know, if you're currently married, then when was the date of marriage? Again, the same thing, month, day, then the year. US entry information. This is where things get a little bit more trickier. Number 19, date of last entry into the United States. Now they want a specific date, as you can see here, month, day, year. If you don't know, and as of what, probably like 5, maybe more years now, they're using the electronic, kind of unfortunately, electronic information entering when you are entering the United States through one of the port of entries. So that means that you can no longer open up your passport and see all of the stamps, all of the, you know, like they put used to put the paper I-94 in there, or I-90, and it was pretty straightforward. I-94, pretty sure it's I-94. Now you actually have to go to Customs and Border Protection website and pull your I-94 from there. So if that's the case, I do have a video on this channel on how to pull that information, your travel record. I highly recommend doing that. But there is a possibility that you might not be able to obtain an exact date. If that's the case, estimated dates should not be a problem. But give it your best, you know, if you can, give it your best shot to pull out the correct dates. But if you can't, you can estimate. Let's say you remember that it was somewhere middle of September 2020 that you entered the country. Putting 09/15/2020, and then it was actually, let's say, September 13, 2020, should not be that big of a problem. It should not cause any issues because USCIS, they know that there is this issue. But before doing that, try your best to pull up your travel record from the Customs and Border Protection. Again, on this website, on this channel, I do have a video on how to do that. Okay, moving further, immigration status or lack of status. When you last entered the United States, for example, visitor, student, no status. So as non-immigrant, as immigrant, whatever your status was when you entered, you can put, let's say if it was a visitor, you can type in B1, B2. You can type in B1, B2 visitor visa. Wait, switch, there you go, visitor visa, if you want, or you can just say visitor. Both, in any case you decide to do it, will be fine. Just make sure you're entering the status on the day you were entering the United States, your entry into the United States. Place of last entry into the United States, U.S. port of entry, if any, city or town. So U.S. port of entry, for example, let's say you entered through JFK Airport in New York. Just type in JFK Airport, or you can type in JFK New York again, or you can Joseph Kennedy Airport, New York. However you type it in, it's not going to be a big deal. City or town, same thing, state, makes sense. I-94, arrival departure record number. Again, if you can pull it up online, go ahead, enter. A lot of people are having trouble pulling it up online because it's very sensitive. If there is one little something mistake somewhere in the name, it does not come up. If you absolutely cannot, just type in unknown. If you did not have any, type in none. But if you can pull it up, again, on this channel I do have a video on how to do it. Try to get it and enter it here. Date your authorized period of stay in the United States expired or will expire as shown on Form I-94 or Crewman's Landing Permit, if you have that, Form I-95. Again, month, date, year, or duration of status, DS. So, you can either put month, date, year, when it expires, when your duration of status expires, or you can say, for example, 6 months. That's fine as well. Again, you would need to pull up your I-94 online on the Customs and Border Protection website to look that up. Or you might have a stamp in your passport. Both work, as long as you can pull up the date when your status is expiring. Moving further, 25, passport number, most recent passport, if any. If you have other expired or valid passports, please list all of them and provide all information requested below about each passport. So pretty straightforward, passport number. If you, in addition to the passport, or you don't have a passport but you do have the travel document number, you would be entering the travel document number here. If not, then just type in none or not applicable. Both work, doesn't matter. And your passport number, let's say AC, whatever. Random number, random number. 27, additional passport or travel document number, if you have any additional ones. If you don't leave blank, not applicable in paper application. Additional paper, again, we don't have that. Country of issuance for most recent passport or travel document, country that issued. Number 30 is expiration date for most recent passport or travel document. Again, month, day, and 4-digit year. Moving further, your current immigration status. Current immigration status or lack of status. So here the same thing. You can say B1, B2 visitor, or student, or just F1. Or maybe if you have applied for some other, let's say you maybe, I don't know, petition for asylum, pending asylum. Just type it in here and it will be just fine. Are you now or were you ever in immigration proceedings? If no, then no. If yes, like I said, if you applied for some kind of immigration status, then you will be selecting yes. If you answered yes to item number 32, provide the following information. Type of proceedings. Select all boxes that apply. It can be multiple boxes here. Immigration Court, Board of Immigration Appeals. I am no longer in Department of Justice or Department of Homeland Security immigration proceedings, but I am or was in federal court proceedings regarding immigration issues. If one of these applies to you, you're selecting it. 34. Locations where your DOJ and or DHS proceedings were held. Self-explanatory. 35. Locations where your federal court proceedings regarding immigration issues were held. Again, self-explanatory. You can type in the city, state, that's completely fine. New York, New York, that's completely fine. Dates for your proceedings. If your proceedings are ongoing, leave the to date blank. If you have been in more than one type of proceedings or in federal court, list dates for each time period. So from, if it's current, just leave it blank. This is where one thing you can leave blank, and just select present. Moving further to part 3, we have our biographic information. Number 1 is ethnicity. Number 2 is race. Moving to the next page, we have some more biographic information: height, weight, eye color, hair color. Pretty straightforward. Moving further to the part 4, information about your current spouse. So if you are married, if you answered that you're married, on which part that was, let's see, your marital information in the part number 2, item 17. You're going to be filling it out here in the part 4, information about your spouse. If not applicable, if you're not married, if you don't have a spouse, again, if you're filing the paper application, don't leave anything blank. Go through the whole thing, put not applicable. But if you do have a spouse, then if she or he has USCIS online account number, if they have alien registration number, A number, you're putting it in here. Again, last name, first name, middle name, if any, mailing address. If it's different, if the same, just put the same address. No problems at all. Other information about your current spouse: date of birth, date of marriage, place of marriage, city or town, state, province, country. If you know, has your current spouse ever had TPS? Yes or no? If yes, then you're putting the dates. Same thing, there is an option for present. There's an option for I don't know the dates. You can select that if that's the case. Is your spouse TPS still valid? Yes or no, or there is an option for I don't know as well. Moving further to the part number 5, information about your former spouse, in case if you're separated or divorced, if that's what you answered in the item 17 of the part 2. Again, name of all your former spouses. There is, looks like an option for first marriage. There's an option for second marriage. If you do have a third marriage, again, I'll show you how to fill out additional information further in this application. But same thing, last name, first name, middle name, nationalities, alien registration number, date of birth, date of death if they're deceased, date of marriage, from to how marriage ended, for example, divorced, widowed, annulled. Did or does this former spouse have TPS? Same thing. If yes, same thing. Second marriage, if you did have a second marriage, if there's a third marriage, again, I will show you how to add that in addition to this application. In the online application, you should just be able to add without any problems, but with the paper application, there's a little bit of a different process. I'll show you how to do it. Information about your children. Again, if you have children, there's a space for child 1, child 2. Again, if you have 3 children, I'll show you where to add additional child. Same thing, name, last name, first name, same information, date of birth, mailing address, so far so forth. Very straightforward. Moving further to the part 7, eligibility standards. That's the basis for eligibility. Provide the following information. 1A is I am a national of, or a person having no nationality who last habitually resided in the country of. Again, here it should be the country that is on the list of currently approved countries for the TPS, which is this list right here. Again, this list constantly changes, so make sure that this is updated and your country is listed. You're going to be mentioning it here. There's also 1B, I entered the United States on the following date and have resided in the United States since that time, months, day, year. And there's also 1C, have you ever traveled to and entered another country other than the one listed in the item number 1A, which is right here, before you last entered the United States. So if you do have any countries in between that country, again, if it's just a transit, a lot of times I get the question whenever it comes to TPS applications, if it is just a transit flight and you had to stop somewhere, that you don't have to mention that. You can just say no. What this 1C means is when you enter that country and you stay there, you have a flight there and you stay there for a certain amount of time, and then from there you get a separate flight and you're flying into the United States. Again, transit flights, you don't have to put yes in this. But if you do have a country in between, if you did answer yes in the item 1C, Name of all the other countries to which you traveled and entered prior to entering the United States. Dates that you were in other countries or countries from to. Your immigration status, if any, in other countries. So how you entered, based on which immigration status. For example, if you entered, let's say, Germany on a tourist visa before coming into the United States, there you go. Germany, dates from to, immigration status or whatever status is, visitor or tourist. You can't enter it here in the PDF on the computer, so you would have to print it out first, which you will have to print out regardless because you're sending it by mail in case if you're doing this PDF version, and you would have to sign it anyway. So just take a note of the fields that you cannot enter on the computer, and once you print it out, go back to it and enter it. Have you ever been offered any immigration status by another country that you did not accept? Yes or no? If you answered yes, then you would have to describe it here. If you answered yes in item number 5, please describe why you chose not to accept the immigration status. You would have to describe it here. Moving further, there is some brief explanation of what happens if there is some kind of criminal history, if there's some kind of criminal offenses in your past. Make sure to read through it. If you do have, if you don't have to, you don't have to read it through. Just you can skip to the human rights violation, and this is basically yes or no questions. That's what we're getting. There's a lot of them. I'm not gonna go through all of them because it will be quite time consuming, but make sure to read through each and every one of those and answer yes or no. I'll give you a brief overview. Any felony committed in the United States? Hopefully no. Any misdemeanor committed in the United States? Hopefully no. Any particular serious crime committed either in or outside of the United States? Hopefully no. So hopefully most of these answers are going to be no. Make sure to read through. Of course, be truthful in the answers. Have you ever or are you now engaged in terrorist activities? Hopefully no. So you get the point. So go through all of them. Make sure that you truthfully answer all of them. Once you're done, we are getting into the part number 8. And before we move on to the part number 8, you filling out online applications is going to be exactly the same thing, answering yes or no in these. Again, read through very carefully all of them. Don't just click no through all of them, but yes, most of the stuff should be no. Have you ever recruited, enlisted, conscripted, or used any person under 15 years of age? I really hope it's no. So most of this should be no, but again, don't skip through them and don't just click no, 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 no. Don't. That's a bad idea. Go through all of them, read them carefully, and answer them truthfully. Moving further to the part 8, we're almost done with the application. As you can see, it's very straightforward. Applicant statement, contact information, and certification and signature. So that's very straightforward. You're just basically answering here that you can read and understand English. If you had an interpreter, then you can select it 1B and you would have to enter the information for the interpreter. Or if you had a preparer, you would have to select the 2 and enter preparer's information. Now, interpreter, preparer, I get that question a lot. It is specifically referring to the services of interpreter, the services of a preparer. So you go to a third party who provides an interpreter service, who sits down with you and says, okay, part A, this is. So basically what I'm doing right now is in a way, is in an interpreter, a free interpreter service, in a way, because I'm going through each question and I'm interpreting what it entails. I'm not telling you what you should be entering. I'm telling you what the question is about, all right? So if you're going somewhere and you're paying someone to do that, only in those situations you are selecting this or this, or somebody helping you prepare. Let's say they're sitting and reading it with you and you're answering and then they fill it out for you. They're helping you prepare the application. This is not attorney service. This is a third-party preparer or interpreter service. Very gray area. That's why I don't do this for money. That's why I don't have any consultations for money, because it's super gray area. But only in those situations. The reason why I mention is because I get a lot of questions. If you have your son, daughter, your brother, whoever, your family member, your friend, help you out, sit down with you and say, oh, yeah, this is this. You ask somebody, or your child is sitting with you and helping you translate some of the things. That is not interpreter service. That is not preparer service. You don't have to select them and mention them here. It is only when it is third party actual service that you paid for. In those situations, you're putting that information. But if it is your relative, your friend, then you don't have to mention them here. Moving further, part 8, still application statement, contact information certification, daytime, phone number, make sure it's something that they can reach you, mobile telephone number. I would definitely recommend using 2 different phone numbers to make sure that if one is busy, one is not available, they can reach you on another one just in case. Email address, I would highly recommend putting in the email address. Definitely do that. Certification is just the signature and the date. Date, if you're doing the paper application, you can type it up, but the signature, obviously, you need to print out this application and then sign it. All right. Now, moving further, part 9 is interpreter contact information. That is, if you had interpreter service, like I described earlier. If it's not applicable, all of it, not applicable, not applicable, not applicable. Yes, you go through the whole thing, put a not applicable, don't leave any blank spaces. Makes sense. If it is applicable, obviously interpreter's full name, the last name, first name, their organization name, their mailing address, their contact information, and then interpreter certification will have to, the interpreter who did this for you, they will have to certify under penalty of perjury that they are fluent in English and whatever other language that they were translating, interpreting it to you, and then their signature and the date of their signature. And then contact information declaration and signature of the person preparing this application. That is a preparer service, a little bit different from the interpretation. So someone is sitting down with you and helping you write it down, whatever, collect application package, put the application package together with all the evidence that is necessary, and then they're mailing it, helping you mail it. That's preparer service. All right, and you paid for it. In that situation, you're putting prepare here. Again, if your son, your daughter helped you out, put all of this together, you don't have to mention them here. It's not a service. If it is a service, then you're mentioning them here. Again, if you didn't use any, not applicable, not applicable. If you did, then they would have to certify, the preparer would have to sign this application. And there is a little bit of extra option here for the preparer. They can be not an attorney providing the service on behalf of the applicant and with applicant's content, or they can be an attorney who is accredited, who is passed the bar exam, whatever, in a certain state where they have their practice. It doesn't matter because immigration law is a federal law, but still most of the times the immigration attorneys, they have bar, their accreditation in a certain state. In that case, they're selecting it here, they're signing it, and that's what most of the attorneys do. They sign this section. If you don't have an attorney, you're not filling it out for the most part. Okay, we are done with application. Now, really quickly, part 11. That's if you need to add extra something. Let's say you have 3 children. You enter 2 children above. Now you need to enter 3rd child. How do you do this? You utilize part 11 of this application. So you enter your information, your last name, your first name, your middle name, if any, if not applicable, alien registration number, if any, and then you enter page number, part number, item number of an additional information that you need to fill out. So in our example, we're doing children. So let's move up to where the information about kids is. So there you go. So that's going to be page number 6. Page number 6 that mentions children. So right here, we're going to put page number 6. Now we need a part number. So we go back to where the information about children is. It's part 6, information about your children. All right, so move down again, part 6. Now we need the item number. So we move up, and so we got 1A. For child 1, we got 8A. For the child 2, And that's really it. So from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 is the last of this. So what you can do, you can enter 15 in this case, because you are adding another child, and you can type in here child, or exactly the same way it appears here. Yes, child, you see child 2, so we are doing the same exact thing, child 2, and then the same way you were entering it here, in the same order you are entering this information underneath right here. So their last name, their first name, their middle name, their address, the same exact way. That's how you add additional information. If you need just one line, let's say additional country, then you're entering the same item number that appears there, same way, and then you're entering the information. That's how you add additional information. And that's really it. That is really it. Now, if you do decide to file, for whatever reason, let's say you're doing an application package together with I-821 and I-765 application for employment authorization document, which in most cases that's going to be the case. And if this is your initial application, I do have a video on how to fill out I-765. Check it out. It is uploaded on this channel the same way I go through it. But if you are filing it by mail, you have to figure out a couple of things that you don't need to figure out if you're doing it online, which again, that's why I recommend filling it out online. But if you do file it by paper, you do need two things: the filing fee and where to file your application package. You can find this information here on the main page for I-821, talking already for 40 minutes. So let's start with the filing fee first. I'm going to click on this, and then you will see the fee schedule. I'm going to open this page, and currently looks like for I-821 application for temporary protected status, the fee is still loading. Not sure why it's taking so long to load. Let me try to refresh this page. Well, let's leave this for now while it's still loading. And let's take a look at where to file your application package. So there is a drop down for where to file. So all applicants eligible to file for TPS under one of the current designations may file Form I-821 online. For more information, please see our TPS page. If you choose to mail a paper application, use corresponding address listed on the TPS page. So we're going to go to the TPS page. This is the same page that I had open. Countries, where it shows the countries that are designated for TPS. So let's see when and where to file. There we go. This is what we need. For information about TPS, please see current specific page to the left. Okay. Trail, change of address, TPS appeal, countries previously, other information. What scans? Related links, maybe? No, there is not. Okay, well, let's see if we can check maybe specific country lists the address where to file. Let's try that. So let's go here, where to file. All right, there we go. So this is how you find it. Click on the specific country that you're applying, that is designated country that you're applying based on for the TPS, and where to file will show up there, and you will know exactly where to file. If you live in a certain state, this is the address. If you live, let's say, in this state, this is the address. If you live in this state, this is the address. So that, as you can see, in our case for Nepal, there are 3 different mailing locations. Well, actually 6 different mailing locations, because if you're using USPS, you're sending to PO Box. If you're using the courier service, FedEx, UPS, DHL, you're sending to a different address. So make sure you're sending it to correct address. All right, let's go back to the fee schedule now. Finally, it is loaded. If you're filing initial registration, there is a $50 fee, paper filing, plus additional fees, whatever the additional fees might be. In this case, it's the biometric service fee, $30. But keep in mind, if you are filing an application package with additional applications like I-765, you would be adding the fees for that as well. You can combine the whole thing and send one check. You can use a credit card to pay, but if you are using a credit card to pay, you would have to send them a payment authorization document, which, let's see if it is listed here, where, let's see, fee, that's a TPS protected status, so we're going back to our, there we go, filing fee. Here we go, the form G1450. If you are paying using the credit card, make sure, if you're sending it by mail, make sure to send the G1450 as well, authorization for credit card transactions. If you don't send it, they won't be able to process your payment and they will return the application back to you. That's another huge plus of filing the application online, because once you're done filling it out online, you can just make a payment using your credit card, debit card, and that's it. The application is submitted. Pretty straightforward. So that's really it for this video. It's quite a long video, 46 minutes, but hopefully with throughout this 45 minutes, it saved you, time and money that you would have spent doing, digging through the research and or potentially going to an attorney and using an attorney. Again, if something is unclear after this video, consider at least a free consultation with an attorney. But as you can see, it is pretty straightforward, and yes, you can definitely do it yourself. If you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to ask them. Just drop them in the comments below. I do have a section on this channel of the videos, Q&A videos, where I go through all of the comments and answer them one by one. So I will try to get to that in a timely manner. But that's really it for today. Again, hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for watching. God bless, and I will see you in the next video.